Hi students, how are you doing? Yep, today we are moving on to multiplication and division involving negative numbers. So last week we have already touched on addition and subtraction involving negative numbers, and in fact the same principles apply to multiplication and division. Okay, so let's carry on. Okay, so looking at this table, okay, what will happen when we have, let's say, 3 times minus 3? See, 3 is a positive number, multiply with a negative number. Positive and negative will give you negative as an answer, isn't it? Okay, so that's how you get minus 9. Again, positive, negative, give you a negative number. Positive, negative, give you a negative. Positive 3 times 0, of course, you get 0. And then positive times positive, yeah, there's something that we have been learning, isn't it? So you get positive number. So when you apply this equation, you understand the basic principle. Okay, that's how you get all the solution. So it simply means, okay, whenever you multiply two integers with the same sign, meaning positive and positive or negative with negative, you always get a positive answer. But when you multiply two numbers with different sign, meaning one positive, the other negative, or negative and a positive, the end result is always negative. Just remember this rule. It's a very important rule. Okay, what about division? Make a guess. What do you think? That's right. It still applies the same rule in division. Okay, so for division, let's look at it. 6 divided by 2. Okay, this is something that we are very familiar. Positive and positive will give you a positive result. Okay, a negative and a positive will give you a negative result. And a positive and negative will give you a negative result. And negative and negative will give you a positive result. Okay, so this is the general rule. So when you divide two numbers with the same sign, the answer is positive. When you divide two numbers with different signs, the answer is negative. Okay, got it? We're done. Let's move on to solving some of these problems given in the text. Oh, look at this. Ooh, we have 4 bracket minus 4 bracket minus 1 bracket minus 5 bracket minus 2 bracket minus 1. So when you have all these brackets, basically they are invisible multiplication sign in between. So it's all these numbers multiplied together. Okay, the first thing that you need to do, okay, again, there's a simple procedure. Look at the number of negative signs. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When there's 5 negative sign, means there's an odd number of negative sign, the end result will be negative. Am I right? Good. Once you determine the sign, so the end result will be minus something. Next step will be to multiply all this number. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 5 is 20, 20 times 2 is 40, 40 times 1 is still 40. So the answer is actually minus 40. Got it so far? Quite easy to understand, isn't it? Okay, let's move on. Okay, combined operation. So what happens if you have, have a combination of plus, minus, times, and divide together? Okay, still use the same principle behind. So basically, it's a very quick recap on Bodmer's rule. Okay, wherever you have brackets, you always solve the brackets, and then after that you solve the multiplication sign, and then after that you solve the plus and minus from left to right. Okay, first you have to solve anything in the bracket. So for this case, you have 2 times minus 8. That's how you get minus 16. Plus 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. Okay, bear in mind 3 squared is not 6. Huh? I've already asked you to memorize all the square numbers and cube numbers, so I hope you have memorized that. It will be included in your test. Okay, just remember that. So once you have solved that, okay, let's solve the bracket inside. Minus 16 plus 9. That's how I get minus 7. So when I have minus 8 minus minus 7, it simply means, 58 minus minus 7, I will actually have 58 plus 7, which is 65 as the answer. Okay, moving on to another example. Oh, substitution. It's something that we have done before, isn't it? But now it involves negative number. So what happens if I have this equation? So I substitute minus 20 into A. That's how I get 5 bracket minus 20 divided by 4. 4 because it's positive. So 5 times minus 20, that's how I get minus 100 divided by 4. So negative divided by positive, and result is negative. That's how I get minus 25. Oh, it's almost similar example, but I have actually made B as minus 4. Let's look at the result. Okay, again 5 multiplied by minus 20 divided by minus 4. So I simplify the brackets. 5 times minus 20, that's how I get minus 100 divided by minus 4. Minus divided by minus, and result is positive. I get 25. Okay, well done. Let's carry on. Okay, what happens if you need to solve, long string of numbers like this? Okay, don't worry, just apply the rules accordingly from left to right. So I recopy the question here. So when I have left to right, minus 9 times minus 5, minus times minus become positive. Solve the bracket. Over here I have minus and minus means it's 3 plus 2. Okay, then let's look at the other part here. Okay, so minus 8, okay, plus minus becomes minus, isn't it? This is something that we have learned previously. And 48 divided by 6. So again, looking at this left to right, I can solve the bracket. I can solve here. So that's how I get 45 minus 5. How do you get minus 8? 48 divided by 6 is 8. So you get minus 8 as a result. So again, left to right, 45 minus 5 is 40. 40 minus 8, you get 32 as the answer. Okay, next one. This question is given in the review activity. I think it's good for us to discuss a little bit on it. So looking at this weird pattern here, you see minus 2, 3, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, minus, it's a weird pattern. So how do we go about solving such a question? And we know that 1000 will appear somewhere, but we're not sure where is it. But looking at the columns, okay, just make a good guess. Do you think it will happen in column 1, column 3, or column 5? Can't happen, isn't it? Because if you look carefully, column 1, column 3, and column 5, these are all odd numbers. So 1000 will not appear there. So you only appear very likely in column 2 or column 4. So which is the correct answer? Not too sure. Let's try to solve the problem. So now I can actually see a pattern here. Can you see it's actually a plus? Actually, it's a minus 4 pattern. See, minus 3, minus 4, you get minus 7. Minus 7, minus 4, you get minus 11. Minus 11, minus 15, you get minus 15. Okay, so as you can see, okay, column 3, there's a consistent decrease of 4. Okay, that's what I observe. So minus 4 times 249 times, I get minus 996, but that's not the answer. I got to add another minus 3 to it. Okay, that's how I get minus 999. So minus 999 will appear here. Now the question again is, how do you know whether 1000 appear at column 2 or column 4? Okay, that is something that I want you to think about it. Okay, that's all for today's lesson. Okay, please complete the activities given to you in the textbook and also in my online. Okay, bye-bye.